Hey guys, Robert with the Man Factory,
And I'm his brother Jacob.
and today we're going to be talking about what Jacob's up to this summer. So, why don't you just jump right into it?
Well, this summer I got a new summer job. I changed from the past 2 summers, and I'm now working at a place called Honora Bay Riding Stable here in Manitoulin. It's about an hour away from our home here, so during my work week I live out there near to the stable in a little trailer, kind of bachelor style. Um, and I like how the job keeps me active. I like how I get to spend time riding and working with horses, and it's just been a really great summer so far.
Awesome. So, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, have Jacob share his experiences, that young people nowadays, especially young men, I find have a lack of manliness, and that's one of the reasons that the website exists in the first place, that I try to encourage men of all ages to be more manly, and Jacob's summer job is about as manly as it gets, working in and around horse stables and with horses, and even persisting through fairly serious injury recently. So why don't you tell us about what happened to you? What was it, 2 weeks ago or so?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I was leading a small pony through the aisle of the barn, and another horse who didn't know the pony got a little mad about the pony being behind her, and she kicked out, but in the process she actually kicked my knee instead of kicking the little miniature horse like she intended to. So it hurt, but I kept working through the day. Then that evening, the knee really stiffened up, started to hurt a lot more, so I drove myself to the hospital, got some x-rays done, and nothing was broken, but the doctor told me I had to stay off the knee on crutches for 2 weeks. So I was on crutches for a few days. I did decide to go back to work the next day and worked for the following week. After a couple days, I just started walking with a brace, and now, a few weeks later, everything's back to normal, which is great.
So, classic example of a young man doing the manly thing, just working when he's got kicked in the knee by a horse, not going home and lying around in bed. So, what specifically does your manly job at the riding stable involve? What sort of work do you do there?
Well, I guess you could say my official title is a trail guide. Honora Bay Riding Stable's main business in the summer is to take out tourists and anybody who wants to go horseback riding out on trail rides. So I get the group started with their forms, I get helmets on them, teach them how to ride, and then I take them out on the trail. So riding itself, just that helps train my core, my lower body, but there's also a lot more physical stuff to the job, like every day we're mucking stalls, we're moving hay bales, there's fencing to do, which is a lot of walking. Just, I'm generally on my feet for most, if not all, of the day.
Well, and it's one of those kinds of jobs where without a certain base level of strength and conditioning, you're going to suck at it, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so being in shape and reasonably strong has been something that I know you've made a priority for a while now. So
Yeah.
without any access to a regular sort of gym, how are you staying in shape out there?
Well, right now I just do a body weight routine, so it's something I try to work into my evenings after work if I'm not too tired after the day. I do this routine. It just takes me a few minutes. I mostly work on upper body because after biking to and from work and being on my feet all day, my lower body's pretty tired. So I work on upper body. I use an app that gives a variety of exercises to train different areas, and kind of just work on that for a few minutes, have a protein shake, and then go to bed pretty much.
Well, it's probably just about all you have energy for after days like what you're putting in, too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
So you've talked a bit about the work you're doing. What about the riding that you do for your own enjoyment and other horse-related sports that I know you do? Why don't you tell us about those?
Sure. I've been doing riding lessons for 4 years now. It's just it's a bit of a hobby for me. I really enjoy working with a horse, connecting with them, kind of being able to ride and have that communication with an animal you can't speak to. It's a really interesting sport, very unique for sure. Most of the riding I do is based on reining, which is a Western sport. It's based on the movements that horses needed to do out in the Wild West when they were working with cattle, except you bring it into an arena, and you just showcase the connection between horse and rider. Recently, I also started doing a little bit of mounted archery, which is really fun. You don't focus so much on the horse as shooting a bow, obviously, and having to aim at a target. So your horse just has to work. They have to know their job and keep going while you are, not steering them with your hands. You're just shooting a bow. And I just started that this spring, and it's something I've had a lot of fun doing.
Wow, that sounds crazy fun, but also quite challenging, I imagine. Staying on a horse with no hands and also doing something as fine motor control involved as archery from the back of a moving animal. Did it take you a while to get the hang of it? Or?
Yeah, it was... See, the riding part was okay because over my years in riding lessons, I've learned to have a base of support in my legs and in my core and not need my hands for balance. But being able to shoot a bow without a sight, just using your own instinct to aim the arrow, that was the biggest challenge for me.
So you're getting pretty good now? You hit the center of the target anytime?
Pretty decent. I still miss the target quite a bit. I don't, with the summer being so busy, I don't get to practice so much, but I generally am able to hit the target most of the time, and I always have fun whether I hit the target or not, so.
Perfect. Well, that's all really interesting stuff, and again, great example of how manly jobs promote manliness in general, and as Jacob's talked about, how strength and fitness and conditioning and just physicality are so useful in jobs like that. We need more young guys like you, I think, doing
Definitely.
manly things, and less young guys doing as little as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for being on the video. Good talking with you, and as you can see, we take manliness seriously here in the Maxwell family. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found this interesting, and see you next time.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.